What's up, former party people? This is Jerry, the one who actually combs his hair on the A is for Alcoholic podcast. Now, if you're finding value in listening to the AIFA podcast every week and you want to support sharing it with others, we invite you to become a sustaining monthly or per show contributor. Go to patreon.com/AIFA. It's super easy and it only takes a quick moment. It's about as easy as buying one of those pre-cooked space chickens from the grocery store, taking it outside, giving it a big old kiss, and kicking it into traffic. Why would you do that? Anyway, you do you, and I'll do me. Again, go to patreon.com/AIFA. And with that, people, let's start the show.
A is for Alcoholic is a program about recovery. My name is John, and I'm an alcoholic.
And my name is Jerry, and I'm an alcoholic.
Join us as we go through the alphabet of alcoholism, one letter at a time.
I was all messed up from that harvest lunch.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So the cube turkey, so that everybody gets kind of the same mix of white and dark. You don't.
It's an ice cream scooper, right? So you get ice cream scooper of mashed potatoes, an ice cream scooper of just nondescript turkey meat cut up in cubes with gravy. Mm-hmm. Ice cream scooper of peas. If you don't want turkey, you get veggie, lasagna, salad, fruit. I got to sit in the cafeteria and eat at a long bench. Mm-hmm. Yeah, memories.
You like the harvest lunch, the school?
Yeah, I love harvest lunch. As we were talking about earlier before we started recording. I go every year. I'll go if they do it in high school, I'm rolling up in there in that high school. At that point, I'll probably grow my hair out all long. I'll just have 2 long braids. I won't.
Off your chin or something? Yeah.
Yeah, just off my chin, like Stained, that band Stained, or Disturbed or something. Just be Olive's embarrassing dad.
So you're like, oh, come on, Dad. Why do you have all the dads have tattoos and none of the kids do now? Is that like going to be the new trend?
Yeah.
A is for alcoholic. That's what we're here doing. If you didn't figure it out. I would like to say a couple of things. About the other podcasts. You've listened to Gluten is Not Your Problem. You've listened to Rashida and John. You know about the Green Camel Press and the Christmas cards that we are selling right now. I did want to say about our patrons on Patreon that I really appreciate you supporting us. And I wanted to just kind of talk a little bit about like what that money goes toward. And obviously we pay for the subscription fees for the platforms to promote the to put the podcast on. But so I recently updated my laptop, and I don't know if you've updated yours yet. No. Okay. So I
don't have a laptop.
No, or not that your desktop, your computer.
Oh.
But you didn't update it.
No, not yet. I haven't yet.
No. So I had to and I always try to, I never like to be one of these people who's like, nah, dude, don't get the updates, man. Just stay with the thing. And I've done that before, and then I end up just having this old fucked up operating system that doesn't work properly. And so I've just been update every time it comes. And then Audacity, which was the free recording software, didn't work because there's something about 64-bit versus 32-bit, and it didn't work on the new operating system on the Mac. And whatever you think about Apple or versus PC, I don't know. But so the point is, I had to go and find another comparable audio software, and so that's where that money goes to. And so I was using this thing called Hindenburg, which is pretty intuitive and stuff like that. And so anyhow, I just wanted to say thank you to the people who support us on the Patreon, and we appreciate it. And
I thought you were saying the money went to that new lip ring and that bow tie.
The lip ring and
got
the bow tie.
A gold bow tie and a fucking badass lip ring. My new labrae piercing. Thank you.
What's it called?
Labrae? A labrae. It's that one on the lip. It's just yours is like a little dice. It's just a little tiny die.
Little die. Little red
snake
die.
Eyes. It's 1998. And I'm fucking crushing it. Snake eyes.
I had an eyebrow ring for a second.
Did you really?
I
did not know that.
1996. I was working at Blockbuster Video in in Ventura, California, and we drove up to Santa Barbara, and there was this dude that looked like Art Alexakis from Everclear who was working, and I said I wanted to get an eyebrow ring. Because I think at the time I saw Mike Patton from Faith No More had one in some magazine spread, and I was like, that would look cool on me. So I got it, and this guy, all I remember is the guy was piercing my eyebrow. We were talking about that movie, The Prophecy, with Christopher Walken. This is very of the time, 1996.
I could tell you it couldn't be a more fucking 90s story.
So I'm in Santa Barbara getting my eyebrow pierced, talking about it. He's like, he kept talking about how the writing was piss poor. That's what he kept saying in the movie The Prophecy.
And then he's just jamming your eyebrow. Yeah. And the music's like, if you want to call me baby, just go ahead
now. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. And the Cardigans after that, his love song.
Yeah. And I remember coming into Blockbuster with the eyebrow ring, and they were like, you can't have that in. That's
no shit.
Yeah,
that's not Blockbuster standards.
No,
huh?
so I think for the first, I tried to wear a Band-Aid over it.
Right.
But I finally took it out, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, you couldn't find like the cool video store to work at where they were like, eyebrow rings are dope, dudes. Mm-hmm. Check out our Texas Chainsaw Massacre wall.
Right.
Yeah, Criterion VHS, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Toby Hooper.
You know the thing about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is the whole thing takes place during the day. It's like one of the only horror movies that the whole thing, there's no night scenes in it.
Really?
Yeah, watch it.
In the remake, there's night scenes, but the remake is hot garbage. Yeah. They also made that in like 2001 or something. Yeah. Did not care for it.
But yeah.
You and your eyebrow ring.
Dude.
Just
go ahead now.
I had a nose piercing.
Did you?
I had my nose pierced, and I had to put a little hoop in it, and then I got into a fight with this ex-girlfriend when I was like 18, and she yanked it out. She just reached up, plucked it out of my nose, and said, "That's my earring." And I was like, "You fucking bitch!" Like bleeding out of my nose. We were super fucking dysfunctional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So usually, we have a fairly well thought out topic, or we've discussed it a little bit beforehand, or have something to talk. And I just thought that, like, since with Thanksgiving coming up, we would just say T is for thankful, and just talk about some of the things that we're thankful for. You know, I think like it's something cool that you get to go and do the harvest lunch with your daughter and go to the school.
Dude.
And, like, that's awesome, you know, because
I would have done harvest lunch during active alcoholism. But I probably would have had to shit at the school. Honestly, I probably would have had to go take a dump at the school because my guts were so fucked up from the whiskey that I would have been like, and anxiety from being out in public and hungover. And I'd be like, you know what, baby, this is great. I gotta go take a smoke break and go outside and smoke. Absolutely, yeah.
You think you would have still been smoking cigarettes instead of vaping?
Yeah.
Yeah,
because I tried to vape when I was still drinking, and it didn't work because it wasn't a cigarette.
Right. Yeah, you weren't interested.
Now I just, baby, I got to step out and have a quick vape.
You can't vape in the school?
Just vaping around all the kids, playing on the playground. Hey, high five, this is mango. This is mango kiwi. You want puff, little man?
Jesus, yeah.
Nah, that's gross, man. No, but I am absolutely thankful for that. But my attitude around it has changed. Subtle things. Subtle and big. It's big and little.
What are you guys doing for Thanksgiving?
I'm probably just kicking it here at the house.
Yeah.
I mean, we got some stuff, and I'll probably end up cooking, and I'm going to make Megan help me, though.
Yeah. You're going to do turkey or
I
like
hate
a roast?
Doing this. Yeah, probably a turkey. Yeah, probably just your traditional Thanksgiving shit, honestly. I'm not very creative when it comes to Thanksgiving dinner. Maybe I should. Maybe I should start doing research now. I got a week.
What do you want to do?
I don't know. Maybe something a little different. Maybe I'll make the turkey, but I'll approach the potatoes a different way. I love stuffing as much as we get on this whole like fitness and watching our weight and our health and shit. This time of year is always really hard for me because I love stuffing. And stuffing is like really prevalent. This is like stuffing season.
It is.
I fucking love stuffing. When I was drinking, even before I started watching my calories, I would just make stuffing just for lunch. Like I would just eat a sandwich and have stuffing, or like put stuffing in the sandwich. That's a mess, dude. I was a mess. Yeah.
I think I remember like Thanksgivings, like when we were drinking, and there were a couple of them where we'd all get together, and like Coda would cook the bird, and he would have this, you know, he was the one who had like, he had wine knowledge even back then, where he would be like, you know, we need to get a nice Gewürztraminer or a nice dry Riesling to go with this turkey. And I remember a few of those where it was really, at the beginning at least, it was still kind of cool because for whatever reason we all kind of had the day off and you could hang out. And
yeah.
It was still, there were some nice Thanksgiving memories in there of going to people's
He'd be like
and...
brining a turkey with a Marlboro Light sticking out of his mouth.
Yes.
And like ash would fall into the brine water and he'd be like, no, it's good. It gives it flavor. Like I remember that clearly with him with the cooler open, flipping the turkey over and this ash, I guess, you know, like an inch-long ash
the
just
house.
Smoking in the house. Yeah. It was even in your apartment, I think, and you're like, we shouldn't be smoking in here, and then we'd all fucking smoke in there anyway.
That's good. It's fine.
Yeah. The light of tomorrow will clean it.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, and again, I think that there were some really positive things and some things that I really like. We got together, and there was camaraderie, and there was for lack of a better word, there was fellowship, there was friendship, there was all that stuff. But it always inevitably ended up like we'd all eat. Nobody would want to do the fucking dishes, so we'd leave the dishes and go to a bar, and drink until.
And they just end up doing like Coke on Thanksgiving.
Basically.
You know, like what the fuck? Yeah, that whole reality to me now is, I wouldn't say I'm disconnected from it, but I would say it's removed. Do you know what I mean? Like I can look back on it and be like, I was there and I understand the mindset of being there very clearly, but I just have no desire right now to be there. Yeah. And I'm also like, I see the whole, how ridiculous all that was. Like, parts of it. Yeah, there were positive parts, and we've stressed that on this podcast before that. I don't want to, well, like they say in the literature, what do they say? We don't look back on the past or try to, I don't remember what the exact quote is, but it's just about like not taking a big shit all over yourself for who you were, you know, or we will not regret the past, you know, because it had to happen.
It happened.
And not only parts of it were positive, that's what reinforced all the negative shit.
Right, that's what you remember. And
right.
I think too, like, I always felt like what we were involved in or what we were doing was, you know, it was cool because we were unconventional. Right? We didn't celebrate Thanksgiving because the way that everybody else celebrated Thanksgiving. We were doing our own thing, and and I think part of that was true, but it was also at the expense of, you know, any number of things, you know, physical or mental or, you know, just all that stuff. But now I can have an unconventional Thanksgiving and totally still be happy and you know,
like it's you and Rashida, you guys are gonna have a beat.
Probably we'll do a beat and some California vegan Thanksgiving, probably. Right,
a beet and some sweet potatoes and like some type of leafy green.
Dude, she makes the best sweet potatoes with the fucking vegan butter and red kale, and it's good. Yeah,
I know I'm making fun of you, but it sounds good though. I'm like fucking with you, but guys, I also am like,
next time we all get together, let us make a fucking vegan meal, and you'll be like, damn, I didn't know you.
Yeah,
could
I
do
have
this.
nothing against.
No,
veganism.
I know, but.
I love it, actually. I just don't want to do it. She
makes this awesome pasta where she, you know, get the fresh tomatoes and does all this stuff, and sometimes she'll get the she'll do like the Beyond beef, so it's the vegan beef.
It's got a lot of salt, but it's good.
I mean I don't need a whole pound of it, but you know that with I should just sit down and cook it up.
Shits and giggles. We're not drinking no more. Let's just eat a pound of that shit.
Right. So I think that's probably what we'll do. You know what I will do? And this is another thing that's really cool, that I would not be doing if I was drinking, is I am going to be interviewed on the local radio station in Sonoma. It's KSVY 91.3. KSVY 91.3. This woman who works for the Valley of the Moon magazine here. And I believe it's a quarterly magazine that talks about all the stuff that's happening in wine country and movers and shakers and so on and so forth. And it's got, you know, it's a cool magazine. She does a show called "It's All About You," and she asked me to be on this. And basically, it's about how music has shaped your life, and you know how. And I was like, really? And I just kind of surprised me that I sent her some cartoons I was like, you should put these in your magazine. And then she had my partner Nabil and I, work on like some political cartoons, which is what he does. He doesn't do that shit at all. And so we did our best with what we were trying to figure out what they wanted. We sent them the cartoons. They didn't like them, or they didn't like 2 out of the 3. I mean, I told her, I was straight up with her. I talked to her on the phone. I said, he doesn't do this. And I've seen when he draws something he's not into, then it doesn't come out that great. So, you know, as an artist, there's things either you love to draw versus the thing that, you know, not that you wouldn't do your best, but, you know, given...
It just doesn't have the same, I know what you're saying. Finesse, the flair.
Right.
It doesn't have that.
But then she asked me to do this thing. So she's like, send me a brief intro and an 8-song Spotify playlist of songs. And I was like, only 8? Like, damn. Okay. I mean, I guess, but only 8. Like, what do I put on there? I'm like The Doors, The Cure, and fucking something by Mike Patton and Miles Davis, and I don't know. I don't even know.
I don't know.
Like
that's... Weird Al Yankovic.
So I'm gonna be on Thanksgiving morning at 10 a.m. KSVY 91.3.
All right.
I'll send you.
Y'all listen.
I'll send you the app so that you can just hit it, and then
I'd love that. Send me the app so I can listen to it Thanksgiving Day while I'm rocking, fucking making it, brining a turkey with a cigarette,
with the vape. Drop vaping. A little Juul, like a little vape
Drop
juice
a little
into
mint
the
juice
thing.
in there. All of this nicotine's good for you.
Oh man. But yeah, so I'm really fucking thankful to be doing that.
That's
like
cool,
getting up
man.
in the morning and.
Well, we don't talk about it a lot, like music and the way it's played into our lives and how important it is to us. You know, like a lot of our friendship was based around a shared love for music. Just music, not just one band. I mean, it was the one band that made us relate, but just music in general.
Well,
you know, how much it's meant to me. Yeah. Like we never really talk about, well, because this is a recovery podcast, can't be like, yo, did you hear that new fucking blah blah blah?
Well, I mean, I'll give you.
I guess I could.
You could talk about whatever you want. But
right.
I don't know what people want to listen to.
We're gonna talk about the impeachment hearings,
right?
No.
Well, I think about stuff like we turned each other on to different music, you know, like there's,
yeah, we did. Yeah.
I wasn't really big into, you know, listening to hip hop and rap and stuff like that. And Jerry brought all this stuff to the table. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. This is not what I was into at all. And then I would say, hey, have you ever heard this band? Did I turn you on to Pavement? Or did you already know
you
them?
turned me on to Pavement. You turned me on to Peeping Tom. You turned me on to Faith No More.
Right. And
like, I would have never really listened to Faith No More. Or actually listened to it.
Right.
Know? And been like, wow, this is a really well-constructed song. Like, the lyrics of the song are fucked up, you know? Like, I just thought it was silly rap metal, and I didn't want to fuck with it.
Yeah. Or the year was 1998, and swing was in full swing.
Oh, jeez, dude! I spent the other night going down a swing hole, dude.
Did you?
Yeah, on YouTube. Yeah. I'm thankful for the swing hole. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Jerry had turned me on to the swing, and also like getting dressed up in suits and chain wallets and two-tone shoes.
Dope ass chain wallets.
Big dope ass chain wallets. I finally. I gave my old wallet I lost the chain years ago, but I gave my old wallet I gave it to Walter, because his was kind of falling apart.
Had the chain hole in it.
Had the little rivet or whatever.
Why didn't Walter just buy a new wallet?
Well, he's like, I need a new wallet. And I was like, man, you got to get this. And my girlfriend gave me this little one that has like a little magnetic billfold, and it's super slim and it's easy.
Is it like the Ridge or whatever?
I don't know. It's not high tech, but it's like just a little thing for a couple of cards. And for the longest time, I was like, I don't know, man. I really need to have this big leather wallet in my back pocket. Like I'm not complete without it.
Back is all fucked up from sitting on it all those years.
That might be what this nerve damage is coming to. But
I don't wear a wallet in my pocket at all anymore, and I have a big fat one I got to get rid of.
Yeah, well,
I don't even. Yeah,
this little one just fits in my front pocket. But so I gave it to him, and Walter's like, "No, man, I can't get rid of it." And I was like, "I know how you feel, dude. I was there. You just got to let it go. You have to release it." Like,
yeah, but Walter's wallet's made out of like duct tape or something. It's always like a weird Walter thing where he's like, it's made out of paper. It's like a Transformers hamburger wallet or something.
Transformers hamburger. So, I mean, I just think it's really cool that I get to, that somebody wants to talk to me on the radio, right? I mean, we do this every week, and this is great. And it was just kind of, nice that someone's like, hey, you seem interesting. Why don't I get you on the radio? I don't know why or how she knows that I like music, that I love music, but, yeah.
She just tell by the way you dress, man. It's how you carry yourself.
Mm-hmm. So I'll be on.
Think about that. I mean, that opportunity may have come to you while you were drinking, and you probably would have, if it wasn't so early, you would have done
right,
it.
10
If it was
a.m.
too early, you probably wouldn't have done it. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just, I guess, the comparative. Thankfulness as a subject is, I'm like picking my brain with it because I am grateful for a lot of things and I'm thankful for a lot of things. But then I pick my brain into, is it in the comparative nature? Am I thankful for things like this is now and that is then? Is it just, am I thankful because of the things that have come into my life because I'm clear-headed and not stuck within my addiction anymore? Do you know what I mean? Like, because I'm thankful for a lot of things, and a lot of the things I think I would have known that I was supposed to be thankful for them while I was drinking. Mm-hmm. But I may have not been because I would have been too fucking stuck in my own head about what I should be upset about. Like, instead of thinking about what I have, I always thought about what I didn't have. And there's this real conscious effort I've been making lately to not think about what I don't have and more focus on what I have. Mm-hmm. Because it's hard not to. It's really hard to not think about what you need, despite, in versus what you already have,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really hard trick.
I think, and I imagine you would agree with me, that I am still very much in the early phases of recovery, not just in the amount of time, but also I know that there is more effort and energy that I can put into it to feel better, right? So I know that there are things that I'm not doing. I know that there are not, steps I'm not taking to bolster my recovery, and I think that little by little, ultimately, it will get there. So we are always going to be comparing, maybe not always, but I think currently, I know that I am always comparing what came before and what's happening now, what I'm thankful for now versus what I didn't have when I was drinking.
It's important, right? It's a healthy thing to be comparative in that way, because if you say, well, it's nothing but worse now and there's no improvement in my life and it's all shit and it's not worth it, then why even be in recovery? Do you know what I mean? If you get no benefit out of it, you don't feel physically, emotionally, financially. I mean, let's even throw finances out there. Just physically and emotionally better. Your relationships aren't starting to, you know what I mean? Change or metamorphosize, and what's it worth? Well, and so I guess it is really important to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to compare to get to the next thing. So like say we're still doing this in 5 years, right? So that'll be like another 5 years for you being sober. And then will you still be going, how things were 10 years ago? But I kind of just even look back to the last year about how things have changed for me and how things have changed for you.
Even in recovery, there has been big changes in my life in the last year, even just mentally,
So, and I know that in the beginning, in the very, very early stages, I would get to this point where, what am I just going to live my life going, well, because I was using it as excuses, right? I was using it as like, well, I'm just thankful to not be drinking, man. So why don't you pass me another donut and a fucking cigarette?
Right. And it's so funny when you hear that, right? Like, oh, what, you just addicted to coffee and cigarettes or coffee and donuts now or whatever?
Mm-hmm. So, and I don't want to judge anyone who is, and I really don't. Like, if that is something that you need to keep you from picking up a drink, then please.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Dude.
Have another menthol and a jelly donut. Yeah, or whatever.
Get them camel menthols. They got a bead in them. It's like smoking Antarctica, dude.
Crush.
It's awesome. I smoked them for years.
I picked them up from you. So,
but yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. I still get a little resentful. I don't get it as much though as I used to, though. Like, oh, you're just trading one addiction for another. Like, well, even if I am trading one set of obsessive behavior for another set of obsessive behavior, this new behavior I'm obsessing over is not detrimental to my well-being. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you just traded drinking for jogging. Well, fuck yeah, jog. It's good for your heart. It's good for your body. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't think any of us could be free of obsession in that sense, right? Like, I was talking to someone the other day about this, about addiction and obsession, and how like he was noticing that even within his life, he's like, so when I traded out alcohol or drugs, I ended up putting another thing into its place, you know? And so I kind of, he's like, that's when I fully became aware that I had issues with that, you know? I was like, yeah, but it's a positive thing though, because you're not hurting yourself. You're not hurting anybody else. You're not going out of your way to be like, I need to fucking, you know what I mean? I'm going to walk over everybody to get to whatever it is you're doing, whatever positive thing. Right. You know what I mean? Like you're doing like,
right.
I don't know.
Well, one, that's how you change habits, is that's how a habit, right. That's how a habit works, right? It's the craving, it's like the craving, the cue, and the reward. And so you're like, oh, I need this thing. And then, oh, well, this is when I get it. And then the reward is, you know, giving into it. So like you have to replace that. But also, what if instead of saying like, language is important, right? So,
right.
What if instead of being obsessed, I'm just being focused on something? I'm just being focused on I'm focused on running right now because it makes me feel good, right? Instead of being focused on drinking. And also, you know, we talk a lot about, and again, I think overthinking is a huge issue for me as an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't need to, I think there was somebody told me that, you know, a non-alcoholic person has like 50,000 thoughts a day, and an alcoholic person has like 65,000 thoughts a day. So that's a lot of fucking thoughts. But
wow, I wonder about that. I want to look that up.
Yes,
because it's a great excuse,
right?
For me with my wife, where I'm just like, yeah, of course I'm neurotic.
I got
alcoholic brain. Got Swiss cheese brains full of holes.
Yeah, but what if instead of me being overthinking, what if I'm being analytical, right? So I'm not saying I'm trying to use these things as an excuse for my behavior, especially if they're behaviors that I want to change and they're behaviors that I am not comfortable with, happy with, or that exhaust me, right?
Right.
So the ultimate goal is to relax and to be content, to be happy some of the time. And so
right.
I just try to be aware of my behaviors and the ones that make me feel bad and the ones that make me feel good, and to hopefully find some balance in there. And you know, I hear the word balance a lot. Like, man, you gotta balance your life out. And so, what does that mean? There's so many things. I went and got a hearing test today, and the hearing's bad in my right ear, and my leg hurts, and like, you know, I need to make more money, but I can't pick up any more shifts at the job I have now. And so there's like all these balancing things, and like I want to go and do these things, and you know, I want to spend time with my girlfriend who lives, you know, in the next town over. And so how do we? And then I have other things, you know, like with you. I'm thankful that, you know, you were able to reschedule this call with me, but like wanting to do this, and you know, I still need to talk to you about next week because I'm supposed to pick up this shift. And so like, what does balance really mean? I think for me, again, breaking it down into tiny little chunks where I can say, well, why am I going to be overwhelmed with like what the next week or month or year?
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
What the fuck am I going to do?
You're making it manageable, right? So that's the big thing, right? My life is unmanageable, so I need to find a way. Well, my life is unmanageable through drinking. That's why I always love that language. You're making it manageable now. You can't just mash the whole fucking steak in your face. You gotta cut it into little pieces, you know, and like savor each piece, or, you know. Yeah, you can't just roll the whole pizza. I mean, you can roll the whole pizza up and eat it like that. Yeah, you can fuck it up, but you know, like, that's unbecoming.
And if you're chewing on a piece of steak and it's kind of gristly, like, spit it out.
Spit it out. Let the dog eat it. Fuck that dog.
You know, if parts of it are too fatty, maybe you need to take a little bit of the fat with a little bit of the lean and cut it into smaller pieces.
Exactly. Put a little ketchup on it. Nobody's looking.
Yeah, nobody's looking.
Secret. Nobody's looking. Don't put ketchup on your steak.
Enjoy it the way that you want to enjoy it.
Right, except I'm going to judge you if you put ketchup on a steak. Unless you're 8, then go ahead. Yeah, this is what I notice you're doing too, and I like it. It's not just you does it. I do it too, but you replace the language for things too. And I wonder if there's a correlation between replacing language and the meaning of something. So like you say, instead of overthinking, what did you call it?
Analytical.
Analytical, right? Yeah. Or instead of obsession, you call it something else,
Focused.
Instead of focused or an obligation, you don't call it an obligation. You just say, whatever it is.
I get to instead of I have to.
Right. I remember learning that lesson from my sponsor a while ago. And it like sticks sometimes, but sometimes it doesn't. I forget. But I think I wonder if there's that correlation between replacing the language and the way you perceive it internally, like emotionally and psychologically. There must be, right? That's why Carlin has that bit about changing shell shock to post-traumatic stress disorder. George Carlin.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How they change the language of things to make it more palatable.
Right.
And it's almost like these things in our life that are unpalatable, we just change the meaning of them through changing their name. And I feel like it can be positive in this aspect.
I think that it can be positive. I think that what I need to be totally 100% honest with myself when I'm doing this, that I'm not just trying to sugarcoat some bit of poor behavior or character defect or something that I don't, something that I'm not happy with, and just go, oh, well, you know what? I don't call it that. I call it this.
Right.
I'm not obsessing. I'm just focused.
Right.
So
I'm not stealing. I'm just appropriating.
Exactly. So is it and here's a good test. If I'm obsessed over something, then it's taking over other parts of my life. It's making me, it's making other things harder in my life. It's making me more insecure about other things because I am obsessed over this. If I'm focused, that means that I'm organized. If I'm organized, then that means I'm managing, my time, hopefully, so working through all of those things. And I mean, I'll go you one further. They don't call it's spelling for nothing because you're casting a spell, Jerry.
Bam! What the fuck? You heard it here first. A is for alcoholic. We're becoming a magic podcast now. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about Magic the Gathering, and actual real magic.
I'll be your warlock.
Yeah, and I'll be your trap card.
Mm-hmm. What's a trap card? Is that
I don't know. It's something I learned from the internet that I didn't learn all the way.
That's not
I think
a trap
it's a Magic
queen?
the Gathering.
That's a different
thing. Oh, trap queens listen to trap music. Yeah. No.
That's like Fetty Wap, but he doesn't play Magic the Gathering.
Is he a trap queen? I thought it was Big Frida is bounce. You ever hear Big Frida?
No.
Big Frida's dope. It's all twerking music, New Orleans bounce. It's dope. I like it.
All right, I'll listen to some Big.
I fucks with Big Frida.
You heard it here.
It's Wally World. I love all that shit, dude.
Wally World,
anyway,
National Lampoon's Vacation.
No, Walmart.
Oh, okay.
The song is called Wally World. It's about going to Walmart to go shopping, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if that's Big Frida though. But anyhow,
the idea that I think it's important. It is important to use the proper language. It is important because these are things that I inevitably say to myself over and over and over. Who do I spend most of my time with? I spend it with myself, in my own brain, saying things over and over. So if I say things like I get to do this, or I get another one of my favorites is even when something is frustrating me and I say yes and thank you. Whatever it is that's in front of me, the only thing that is making me frustrated is my resistance to it. If I accept it and say, yes, thank you. Did I talk to you last week about this phrase, amor fati?
No, not that I can recall.
So it's from Stoicism, and I think like the Spartans and stuff.
Right.
And it basically means, I think the literal translation is loving your fate. And again, it's that sort of thing I am happy that I am here. I am happy that, so whatever, I always go back to the stuck in traffic because I think it's a relatable one for everybody.
Right.
But
you get stuck in traffic a lot.
It's California, man. I mean, I get...
That's why I accept it.
But, whatever it is that's frustrating you, whatever the thing is
like being stuck in traffic.
Amor fati. I love my fate. I am happy to be here because this is where I'm supposed to be. Right. And I can't be anywhere else. If I was somebody else... I
always love that concept, man. I love it.
What?
You're exactly where you're supposed to be right now.
Well...
I love it. I do. I love... Go ahead and continue your thought. I just wanted to interject that.
No, I love that you can't be somewhere else. I can't be...
Right.
if I was somewhere else, I'd be there, but I'm not.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I love it. I do. I love it. I need to like remind myself of that a lot because I do get frustrated. I'm like, if I would have left 5 minutes earlier, but I didn't though. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Or if I would have left 5 minutes later, but I didn't. If I wouldn't have fucking had that drink at 16, because I went through this phase for a little while where I was like, I fucked my life up. I'm in my 40s and like I don't own a home. I don't have all these typical things that people my age should have. I guess societally should have, you know. And I'm like, I fucked it all up because I drank it all away. You know, I look around at people around, once again, comparative, who are successful financially or whatever, you know, just in their career, and I'm like, they have it, you know, not even taking into account what they're dealing with, just seeing that one thing. And I'm like, but I didn't. So this is where I'm supposed to be right now, you know. But for a long time, I was very resentful at myself for like drinking away all my quote unquote potential. You know, growing up, I always heard how I had a lot of potential. They were always like, you're really smart, Jerry. You got a lot of potential. You can make, if only you knew how smart. That was one of my dad's quotes all through, like, when I was a little kid in high school. Only you really knew how smart you really were. You know, you would be able to accomplish a lot. But I don't think you know how smart you really are, you know? And so as I got older, I was like, damn, I did not fulfill my potential. I drank it all away, you know? But then here I am in my 40s, and, like, this is where I'm supposed to be. It's not bad. Like, I love my wife. I love my kid. I love you. I love fucking... Too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
I love harvest lunch, so yeah, I'm killing it, I guess, you know.
There's something to be said about the experience. You know, I know another thing that I've heard in recovery is this idea that we've gotten to live two lives as alcoholics who have recovered.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
we got lucky.
We got very lucky. And, you know, that experience can now, whatever you choose to do now, you have that experience put into the potential that you still do have.
Right, exactly. It didn't go away because I drank forever, you know.
It didn't. It could have, but it didn't.
It didn't. It could have, exactly, yeah.
So I think that's something to remember, because again, it's very easy to get resentful about things. And, you know, I do this really thing where people want to give me compliments and say things like, I've heard, you know, oh, you're really talented, or, you know, oh, that's really great. Right. And I'm like, well, where's the fucking money? And that's been my issue lately. Like, you know,
right, exactly. You're like, what is all this talent? Is really, I'm laughing all the way to the fucking bank.
You know, like, why don't you show me? Why don't you cut me?
Because my balance just dipped below zero. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. He wants, yeah.
You think I'm talented? Why don't you show me? Put a sign on the line that is dotted. You know, like, but that's not really how. It doesn't benefit me at all to think that way. And so I have to stop myself and go, like, just say thank you and remember that and use that for the next time. And, you know, we talk about financially and thinking that, oh, well, I should have this much or I should have that much.
Right.
And
like, I should be owning a home by now, right? You know, that's the way my brain works.
Right.
Like,
and my friend who I just came in from out of town, and he, you know, he's in the program, and he's not in love with his job, but it affords him a really nice living, and he's able to travel. Like, once a year he goes on a trip, and he went to Vietnam last year, and this year he went swimming with sharks in Mexico, and nice. And he doesn't love his job. In fact, there's some days where he's just like, I fucking hate it, you know. But he was telling me this thing. We were talking about money, and I was like, yeah, man, I got this credit card debt, and, you know, I thought I'd be done working in restaurants at some point, and I'm not. And he's like, well, let me tell you, John, like, whatever it is you plan on doing, you know, because he had a number. Like, he was like, I want to have this much money in the bank. And it was a pretty big number. And he said, you know what? Last year, I reached that number. And I haven't been able to get past it. So, like, be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you wish for. Like, I think, you know, his point was that, you know, wish big and be open to things, because you will pigeonhole yourself with that idea of, oh, well, if only I had $100,000, and then you get $100,000, and then that's all you get. You know,
right?
I want infinite abundance, Jerry.
You want the cornucopia, just rolling with money,
and I have it. You know, I mean, I have it in so many ways that I I need to be more, again, we talk about thankfulness, being thankful. And
right.
Like, I don't have any, I checked, there's no bills due today.
Right.
And there's food in the fridge and all those things. And so anything that I'm searching for, what do I want? What do I want? Like to...
Right. What's the end goal? Or is there even a goal? Is it just the goal just to live life and be content? You know, like it's a great question. What do I want? What do I want for today?
Mm-hmm.
That's your daily affirmation, listener. What do I want for today?
What do I want
like you're out there
today?
Making breakfast or I don't know what you're doing out there listening to this podcast, but like, what do you want? What do I want? Like, I always wonder what I want. Like, I got up this morning and ran. I did my 3 miles, and then I went to harvest lunch. Yeah, cleaned the kitchen, fed the cat and the dog, you know, slowly introducing the cat and the dog to each other. But
are they friends yet?
Like, nah. I put him on a leash out in the living room, and I wrapped the leash around the leg of a table so he can't get to her, and then I let her out. And then he just, like, he'll either sleep if he's tired or just fucking be upset that she's out there. And so then I, like, when he calms down, I give him a snack, and I'm like, good boy, good hush. And then I go over and give the cat a snack, like, good cat. But anyway, I guess that's not the point. I don't know. My life is weird. I'm like Dr. Doolittle over here.
Good
dude.
hush?
Like, good hush. Yeah, because when he barks, I go, hush, and he stops barking. I go, good hush, good boy, good hush, and I give him a treat. He probably hears me out the door right now. He's like, fuck, are there good hushes over there?
Where's my hush?
So I give him some pepperonis. Yeah.
No, you were saying is that this is what you do with the day, and this is what makes you feel good. This
is kind of what I wanted, right? Like, it's my day off. I still gotta get up at 6 in the morning and get this kid ready for school, but I wanted that. Like, yeah. I didn't have to do that. I could have rolled over Megan and been like, "It's all on you today, baby," and gone back to sleep, you know. But I didn't want that. Like, simple things, right? Or like you said, big things. Just I can see the idea of once attaining your goal, then where do you go from there? You know, or even just hitting an emotional difficulty of getting past that goal because you've already hit the watermark. You know, I can see it. Yeah.
You know,
you may never even make your goal, and that's all right too.
Yeah. You know, one of the I also wanted to talk to the listeners too. You were talking about what do you want today, and I was thinking, like, I was hoping that maybe we could get some participation from you folks out there. And what I'd like to do is for our W, I wanted to do like what keeps you sober today. And so if you are listening to this and you are interested, we would love for you to send us like a 30-second voicemail, like a voice message, and just send it to asforalcoholic@gmail.com, and we'll go through them and play some of our favorites. And that's what I wanted to do for W, is what keeps you sober today.
Yeah, so I'm down for that. Let's do it.
So
you can write us too if you don't want us to play your voice on the air.
Yeah, if you wanted to write us. But I just thought it would be cool. I want to
know what keeps the listeners sober. You know, all of our listeners.
Well, because you know you know what keeps you sober, and I know what keeps me sober, and I talk to you, and not that we've
talked about that.
Yeah, and not that we get bored, you know, talking to each other necessarily. We're still doing
it. Just two dudes shooting the shit. Yeah,
but
we just have a scheduled time to shoot the shit with each other now.
But yeah, I would just love to hear what anybody has to say for what keeps you sober. But also, like Jerry said with the other question, is like, what do you want for today?
Yeah.
And I think without answering that question, it's really hard for me to be happy, you know, because if I just have these. There was one time where I was telling you some story about wandering around and not having anything to do and not really knowing what I was doing, and I was so unhappy. And you were like, sounds to me like you don't know how to relax and just enjoy a day off, like thinking you're supposed to be doing something. And but I had no plan. And now I've gotten better with like scheduling, and because my job isn't so consistent, I have to remember, like, do I work today? Do I not? Where am I working? I'm working over here. I'm doing this, and I've got appointments, and then I'm talking to you, and all these kinds of things. And so I have to be more diligent with my schedule, and it really... Sorry. Somebody's fucking... I don't know. Do you hear that out there? I don't know. Sorry, Anyhow, I have to be more diligent with my.
I don't hear anything.
I don't know.
Let me know
somebody's
if you
digging up
just
the
get swatted.
I don't know. Someone's digging up the driveway outside or something.
This is where John gets swatted on the podcast. Yeah, just a SWAT team rolls out like you play that Call of Duty, pissing people off at Counter-Strike.
Right.
Anyway,
no, just that it makes a big difference in my state of mind and well-being when I know what I want for the day.
Right. Mm-hmm.
When I have those small little goals and I'm able to attain them.
Right.
I think,
or even if the goal is just I want to feel good today, or I want to feel better today, or just I want to clean the yard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like clean my room or mow the lawn, or and then once I'm done with that, then I can relax. I just want to relax. You know? Like, I get it.
So I think those things are important. Like, and I'm gonna bring up running here, but I promise I'll keep it brief. I went and I ran the half marathon, right? And now it's done. And now what? And so I've been dealing with the pain in my leg and but now what? So all of a sudden, and the weather's gotten colder, so it's kind of harder to go out there like burr, you know?
Yeah, it sucks, dude. Yeah.
Everyone's telling me, every healthcare professional I go talk to is being like, you got to start doing core exercises, John. You got to work that core. You got to strengthen that back. Like, that's what's going to help. And it's like, that's not what I wanted to do. I want to go running.
Stomach or back?
Both. Basically, everything. Sides, front, back, everything.
I do stomach shit. I love it. But anyway.
I have to do a bunch of planking all the time now and crunches.
Planking. Russian twists.
I don't know.
Are you ready to visit the Ukraine, my friend?
I don't know.
Let's do those Russian twists.
I used to drink some Smirnoff twisters, but that's not the same thing.
Don't drink the Smirnoff twisters when you're doing Russian twists. You'll throw up. You'll relapse.
And that's the wrong kind of fucking ab workout.
That's a horrible ab workout.
So, but
anyway.
But what's my next goal? So it's like, does it need to be to lose another 15 pounds and tone up these abs? That's not really something that's exciting to me. Like, I want to go on another adventure.
But neither was running though when you first started.
Right. Well, I don't want to get I don't want to get obsessed with my abs. That seems a little fucking.
That's what you're telling yourself now because you're scared.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Till them abs come in and your old lady's like, dang! And you're like, yep, I'm a fucking Adonis. I mean, you're an Adonis now.
You should probably check out my other Instagram page, John's Abs.
Right, John's Abs.
It's just no, it'll be like abracadabra. And just
abracadabra with my coconut swimsuit.
No. But
it's a Hawaiian tropic, John.
You know, but I want to do. There's like, what's the next adventure? So I need to pick one.
Right. Mm-hmm.
My friend Mikey, you know Michael Graca. He invited me to.
Yeah, I love Michael Graca.
He invited
Old Town Fancy.
Old Town Fancy. He invited me to go run a 10K with him in Minneapolis, and I was like, well, how much would that really cost? Would I be able to just fly out to Minneapolis, go run, and then come back?
You gotta do them core exercises first, though.
Right? So.
Right, but that's the thing, though, right? You can't. Well, you can, but they're like, if you want to do the thing you want to do without discomfort, now you got to do the thing you don't really want to do. Like, I didn't want to run today either. I really didn't, but I went and did it anyway. And like 5 minutes into it, I was like, right, I enjoy this. I'm enjoying this, you know? Yeah, it always seems daunting in the beginning, just like with recovery, just like with putting that first drink down and being like, really, I have to live the rest of my life without this? Like, this is the one thing that helped me out, and now I can't do this anymore?
Yeah.
And then after a while, it like feels good. You like feel okay. You're like, damn, how did I do all that shit? How did I eat a shit sandwich every day? And you're like, this is fine. This is manageable to eat this shit sandwich every day. You know what I mean? Like, and how come sometimes someone will walk in the room with a shit sandwich and part of my brain will be like, that looks really good. You know what I mean? I'll light right back up again. Yeah. I don't know. Just my brain is dumb, I guess. So fuck you, brain. We're gonna go running.
It's It's true.
Go lift weights, you know, because I run and lift weights. I do both, and I don't like doing either, but I do them. And partway through, every single time, I'm like, actually, this is not bad. I kind of enjoy this. Like,
it's because your brain doesn't want to deal with discomfort. I think that's part of why I drank, was because in the moment it was like my brain's like, oh, that's comfortable. Oh, give me some more.
This will put you in the pocket, you know. Yeah,
and so. There's like three parts of me, right? Well, there's probably lots more parts, but there's there's my brain and there's with the physical fitness part of it, like with the running. There's my brain and my body, and and my heart sometimes comes into it, and by that I mean like my emotions. But and then there's my awareness. So there's my awareness, there's my brain, and there's my body. And so my brain is saying, "Man, just lay back, take it easy, don't exert yourself." My brain is still working on like prehistoric instincts, because we need to reserve all of our energy in case a woolly mammoth comes and we have to kill it and eat it.
Right.
And then we should eat as much as possible and get as much fat as possible as soon as possible. And then that's what my brain is saying. And my body's like, I want to go. I want to move. Like I can feel it in my muscles. And so my brain, and then so my awareness, which is above my head, I go, brain, this is going to hurt. And even my body is like, this is going to hurt for a little while, but you're going to get through it. And then it's going to feel really good. And eventually my brain comes along, because there's this that third part of me, that awareness, that higher power, maybe that higher being, that higher level of consciousness, that higher me, whatever you want to call it. Like that's the one that I need to be in tune with. And that's the one that I need to be sort of like take control of the situation. Yeah. And that goes for anything, I think, for me. If I do that, it's easier. It's when I give in to the lesser cravings, the lesser desires, the
non-beneficial ones,
especially the non-beneficial ones.
Well, and it has to hurt because you're growing. You're like learning and growing. That shit always hurts. I don't think I've ever done any growing without it hurting. Like that's
at least a little bit.
Growing pains, at least a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't.
Was it a TV show?
It was Mike Seaver. Show me that smile again.
That's what it was. Thank you.
Don't waste time. Don't end it on your crying.
Yeah. I want to sing it, but I don't remember the words. But I know what you're singing.
As long as we've got each other.
Yes, we gonna work it
my way, baby.
Ran over a drifter.
Ran over a drifter.
Yeah, hide the body.
We got each other, sharing the laughter and love.
We're both guilty of this crime. You rat me out, you're going down.
So I'm thankful that if you're still listening after that,
that was a mess.
I appreciate you very much. I am, man. So that's what I do. That's what I do to try and
That's what he do,
that keep my head above water.
This is our lessons today. You don't get, what is it? You don't have to, you get to.
You don't have to, you get to. Yes.
And growing hurts a little bit. Growing and learning hurts.
I mean, there's something to be said in my.
What do you want today?
What do you want?
Changing your language.
Yeah, change your language.
Or don't do any of that shit. I don't know. I don't.
Well, excuse me. This is another thing I wanted to bring up because, I think that I think I speak for Jerry when I say that we encourage you to do your own research about what you need in your recovery.
Yeah,
it's different for everybody, and it was just something I was reading about. It can be very it's just important. I don't want to dog on anyone or anything that anyone else is doing out there, but it's important to find help from people that make sense for you, right? I don't promote any one thing or any one style or brand, or I don't want to tell anyone what to do. If somebody reaches out to me and wants to talk, really all I can tell you is what I did to get myself better and what I'm currently doing. I speak for Jerry on this one too.
Yeah, we have no answers. We're just giving you our perspective on our experience.
Right.
Yeah. So, because you were talking about that, you know what? It reminds me of that message you were saying you got on Instagram. Where, I mean, not to get too in detail, but this person was like, I don't remember what it was. Just I'm against.
She was against, or he was against, like these quote unquote recovery advocates and these sober coaches and stuff like that. And so,
and we don't do any of that shit.
I don't.
We're just talking about how we feel about our experience personally and what we're going through, because this whole thing's a process. It's not like you just get sober and you're done. Bing, good luck out there in the world. Or maybe it is, but for me, it wasn't like that. I wasn't like I got sober and then I was healthy and ready to go. You know, like this is still this process, and like a lot of this with John and I, we're just talking it out while we're going through it with each other. We're not even, I'm no expert on this subject. No. I just live my life. I'm not even an expert on my life. And like I barely know what's happening.
Right?
Dude.
I mean, maybe before I'll die, I'll figure it out and I can let you know. But
right.
And I also don't want to discount any like treatment centers or recovery coaches. I mean, I just threw that out there, and like any of these people who are sincerely trying to help, I just do your research, follow what feels right to you.
Right. Try not to get taken advantage of.
Try not to get taken advantage of, man. I mean, I don't know. I hope that our message is one of, I hope it's a message of strength and experience and hope and all the good things that come with that. But I guess I just don't want there to be any mistake about what our intentions are, which again, I'm not always sure when we start talking.
I don't think we even come into it with intentions. I mean, the only message I ever wanted to give, if I ever wanted to give one, was like, I've been there.
Yeah.
And here's what I did. You don't have to do what I did, but here's the path I took, and I'm still taking it. But even that is like, even for me to say I want to leave anybody a message, I feel disingenuous, because honestly, it was just me and you just talking to each other about shit. And you being like, yeah, it be that way sometimes.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm basically like, yeah, it do be that way sometimes. You know, that's all we've really done with each other. And so,
you know what the intention was, and I think still is for me, is that this helps me. And so, like, talking to you, like when we first started this, before we ever started recording, it was like, let's just talk and let's read and let's try and figure things out and go, okay, let's. And so that was how it started. So, you know, So I hope that in that the intention is sincere, because in a lot of ways, I mean, not selfish is the wrong word, but I'm looking for help for myself, right? I just want to make myself feel better. I think it's
a little self-serving, but it has a positive.
Yes.
Hopefully, it has a positive. Effect on people. We're not going to tell you what to do. This is not gluten is not your problem. We're not going to tell you what to do. You listen to Walter. Walter's going to tell you what to do. He'll be like, Don't ever sop your soup up with bread or whatever weird arbitrary thing. We don't care.
I don't
care.
Be
good to yourself. That's what I always say. Just be good to yourself.
Yeah.
Stop taking a dump on yourself. You'll be all right.
It's true. Thanks again for listening. Our music, as always, is by Neglect. You can find more of his stuff at neglect.bandcamp.com.
And you can find us on all social media platforms that matter: Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And you can reach us at aisforalcoholic@gmail.com.
Talk to you later.
Yeah.